Breaking news tonight, and this is something you absolutely need to hear right now. The White House just confirmed that President Trump has officially approved the $2,200 tariff rebate checks, and something completely unexpected happened in the last few hours. Low-income seniors have been added to a brand new eligibility list that did not exist earlier this week. This update is real, it's fresh, and most people have no idea it even happened. If you receive Social Security, SSI, or SSDI, listen carefully because this change directly affects you. For days, this rumor has been spreading across news outlets, social media platforms, and community groups. But tonight, the confirmation finally came through. Trump signed off on the revised structure for the tariff rebate payments, and the Treasury quietly pushed out a new internal notification that moves a specific group of seniors into priority status. The timing of this could not be more surprising. Nobody expected the update to go live tonight, and the language inside the document suggests this was fast-tracked after a sudden review of low-income households. Until now, the $2,200 rebate was focused on middle-income families, workers, and people directly impacted by rising tariffs on imported goods. Seniors were mentioned, but they were never officially categorized as priority recipients. That changed tonight. For the first time, low-income seniors have been placed on a new list that gives them early access to the payment queue. That means if you're living on a fixed income, relying on Social Security checks, or simply struggling to cover your monthly expenses, your name may now qualify under this updated group. Trump said earlier today that the rebate checks were designed to help Americans who have been hit hardest by rising prices. But what caught everyone off guard was the sudden shift towards seniors specifically. The updated language from Treasury states that households with limited or fixed income should not be left behind. That one sentence is what triggered tonight's change, and it's why your status may now be different from what you thought yesterday. If you're a senior earning under a certain threshold, especially if your only income is Social Security, SSI, or SSDI, your eligibility score has improved dramatically. This is not speculation. This is not rumor. This is a confirmed update that is already being reviewed by multiple agencies. Tonight's update is bigger than just a payment announcement. It represents the first major shift in how the tariff dividend program is being targeted, and seniors have just moved from the back of the line toward the front. Now the question becomes, why did this happen so suddenly? What triggered the internal review, and what does the new priority list actually look like? Over the last 2 weeks, Trump has been revising the structure of the tariff rebate program behind closed doors. Most people only saw the headline that said $2,200 checks confirmed, but they didn't see the pressure building underneath the surface. And the truth is, this program wasn't even designed to include seniors in the early stages. That changed only after several economic reports landed on Trump's desk, showing just how hard inflation has been hitting older Americans. The turning point came when a new analysis from economic advisors showed a sharp rise in senior poverty numbers, especially among people receiving less than $1,300 per month from Social Security. That data was presented directly to the president, and from that moment, the tone of the tariff rebate discussions shifted. One advisor said the president's concern was simple: if the government is returning tariff revenue to Americans, the people with the least buying power should not be last in line. That's what pushed this into a fast-track review. The tariff rebate program is funded differently than stimulus checks we've seen in the past. This program pulls money from tariff collections, meaning funds come from taxes placed on imported goods. Trump's argument has been the same since the start. If those tariffs are generating billions, that money should flow back to American households, not sit unused. And the updated version of this plan includes a new directive for the Treasury: identify groups with limited income, low mobility, or fixed benefits, and move them into priority review. The Treasury didn't simply make a list. They created a scoring system. It looks at income level, dependency on government programs, purchasing power, and monthly benefit stability. Seniors who rely heavily on Social Security, SSI, or SSDI score high under this system, which is why tonight's internal update shifted them upward. It wasn't political. It wasn't last-minute generosity. It was a scoring overhaul driven by data. According to internal sources quoted earlier today, the White House didn't want this leaked before the update was finalized. They wanted the paperwork completed, the eligibility categories approved, and the Treasury alignment in place before announcing anything. And that's exactly why tonight feels like a surprise. This update has been in motion for days, but the final approval just landed. When Trump made his announcement confirming the $2,200 rebate checks, he didn't mention that the Treasury was simultaneously preparing a split-track payment system. One track for middle-income families and workers and another track for low-income individuals, including seniors. The new senior priority list is connected to the second track. That system is designed to move faster because the verification steps are simpler. Most seniors already have their income history and benefit records within SSA and IRS systems, which means their eligibility can be confirmed automatically. Inside the Treasury memo mentions a rapid verification route. This is specifically for people whose primary income comes from Social Security or SSI. In simple words, if your income is already documented within federal benefit systems, you may not need to file anything new. That's the reason the update tonight is so important. It doesn't just add seniors to the list. It makes them easier to approve. The priority list isn't just a grouping. It's a tier system. And seniors didn't just join the program. They were moved into one of the highest tiers. That means some seniors may receive their approval before millions of working households even enter the review queue. The Treasury didn't just add seniors to the program. They reorganized the entire payment structure into 3 tiers, and low-income seniors were moved into one of the highest priority categories. Tier 1 was originally designed for middle-income workers earning between $30,000 and $75,000 per year. But under the updated scoring system, a new group has been added. Seniors who receive less than a certain amount from Social Security each month. If your income is below roughly $30,000 a year, or if your monthly Social Security check is under the national median, your eligibility score jumps significantly. That means seniors who depend on fixed benefits are now grouped with early recipients, not the late ones. The Treasury memo introduced something called a benefit stability factor. This looks at how predictable your income is and how likely you are to be impacted by rising prices. Seniors on fixed payments score the highest in this category because their benefits remain the same even when rent, food, gas, and utilities increase. And because of that, the model automatically places them above many working households who have fluctuating incomes. Based on the internal scoring, anyone with an annual income below $30,000 stands the strongest chance of early approval. If you receive SSI, SSDI, or survivor's benefits, you're automatically flagged for expedited review. If you collect less than $1,300 a month from Social Security, you may be considered high priority under the new senior adjustment. Seniors who filed zero income tax returns over the last 2 years will now be automatically processed without additional paperwork. Inside the updated Treasury memo, there was a final category added just hours before the announcement. Fixed income seniors receiving less than $1,100 a month. This group was not mentioned in Trump's public statements. It wasn't included in the early drafts of the program, but after reviewing new economic data, the Treasury added this group into the same priority lane as low-income seniors. If you're in the senior category, or if you're living on SSI, SSDI, or survivor's benefits, your status is not tied to new legislation. You do not need Congress to pass a separate bill to receive this rebate. The tariff rebate payments are structured differently from a stimulus package. This program pulls from tariff revenue, which means Treasury can distribute these payments once the eligibility structure is finalized. And as of tonight, that structure is complete. Most seniors will not need to submit any additional forms. The eligibility review will be handled automatically using data from SSA and IRS systems. Only individuals with outdated records or missing information may receive a request for verification. But for the majority of seniors, the process will be hands-off and handled internally. Some viewers are worried that receiving this rebate could affect their Social Security benefits. It will not. This payment is not considered income for benefit purposes, and it will not reduce your Social Security, SSI, or SSDI checks. This is additional money completely separate from your monthly benefits. Make sure your SSA and IRS information is correct. Your address, your direct deposit details, and your tax records should be up to date. Check your portals regularly. Any alert or update could be important. Stay informed because the next round of announcements may include payment windows, processing dates, or confirmation timelines. The last few years have been incredibly difficult. Prices went up, bills got tighter, and millions of seniors were left wondering how they were supposed to manage on the same monthly income. This update doesn't solve every problem, but it is a step toward relief. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible, and tonight's announcement proves that your situation is being taken seriously.